We're in Elixir territory now. Apparently it's the rave, but honestly, I'm all for it. My name is Neeb. Welcome back to AROMATIX. Look, today's fragrance really impressed me. I have never been a fan, and I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, but Neeb, this one's great, and that one's great. And there have been many great fragrances from this brand, but nothing that really stood out for me, or it stood out for just a little while, and eventually I forgot about it. This one, however, I think is gonna be one that I'm refilling or repurchasing, and it's called Boss Bottled Elixir. I'm not gonna lie, man. I am extremely surprised with what they came out with. When I initially sprayed this thing, I had to double take and look back at what I actually sprayed. Did this just come out of a Boss bottle? Yeah, it sure did. This fragrance is a little rocket, man. I loved wearing this fragrance, but it is not your standard mass appealing fragrance. It's not a safe blind buy, but in all honesty, it's so refreshing to see some of these designers really go back to the way that things used to be done. I remember a time where designer fragrances really had something different to offer from one another, and then we had this fuzz or decade or 10 years of fragrances that really smelled like the same. After the whole Blue Day Chanel and blue vibe, that's really all everything really smelled like, was just blue fragrances. Now, they're starting to realize that, okay, people are bored and it's time to come out with the newest, hottest thing, elixirs. And Boss Bottled Elixir is exactly that. It's the hottest, in my opinion, of the Boss Bottled DNA. Not safe. You have to be into spicier, oriental, darker, more confident base type of fragrances. Statement makers. If you're into that, this is your vibe for sure. Some of the notes for this fragrance include cardamom, frankincense, patchouli, labdanum, and cedar. So right off the bat, you're gonna see there are some oriental notes like that cardamom and that frankincense. So opens up with a balsamic vibe and that spiciness of the cardamom. And for me, initially, I thought it had something of licorice. It smells like, or at least in the beginning, I just remember thinking, wow, okay, is this inspired by Sauvage Elixir? But then it starts to do something completely different. And I'm not gonna say that this is cloning Sauvage Elixir, but it legitimately smells like they took Boss Bottled EDP and blended it with the best elixir in the market and called it Boss Bottled Elixir. It's almost like they were in the drawing board and said, elixir, Sauvage Elixir, and they just opened the cap, poured half of it in, and then half of it their own stuff. But either way, smells amazing. And I'd be lying to say that it doesn't give you a different experience. It does. And for that reason, I love this stuff. It is quite different than Sauvage Elixir. It is not a redundant purchase, but it's in that territory of fragrances. So what is that territory of fragrances? It's like old school fragrances with a modern twist. So for that reason, it makes it less of a mass appealer fragrance. But in all honesty, I think that's what's coming back into style. Less mass appeal, more masculinity. So because of that old school but modern twist vibe, I think that this is gonna be catered to 22 and up, maybe even 25 and up. It's not really gonna appeal to the younger crowd, but still 25 and up, really even 40 and up. This is an amazing fragrance. I think that it smells fantastic. Despite the fact that it does have those similarities to Sauvage Elixir, it does also have its differences. So it opens up relatively similar, has that licorice vibe, and I was pretty surprised to see nothing more than the cardamom and frankincense. However, I believe that there might be a little bit more to these note breakdowns than they actually list, and it has a very distinctive balsamic opening. So in that opening, you're gonna get a hefty dose of that frankincense along with some of that cardamom, this licorice vibe. And as it starts to dry down, you get this leathery nuance that's drawn from this labdanum. And the labdanum just gives you a more naturalistic type of leather accord to the entire DNA. What this turns out to be is a spicy oriental leather and woods fragrance. It's as simple as it is. It opens up pretty spicy and balsamic, dries down into more woody and leathery. Performance and longevity of this fragrance, honestly, this was beastly on me. I sprayed this on and the projection was easily 2 hours. I rocked this to the gym. Projection was pretty big for the first 2 hours. I couldn't really measure it. It was beyond measuring capacity. That's what she said. And total longevity, 10 plus hours easily. On clothing, next day. I'm extremely surprised at what they're releasing nowadays. And if they continue to release bangers like this and performing fragrances like this, I think there's a bright future for designers. I thought it was gonna be over with all these dupes, but no, it's really not. Some of these designers are really redeeming themselves. And it's just a catch-up game. It just means that we're gonna have amazing dupes, we're gonna have amazing designers and amazing niche fragrances. I'm all for it. I'll buy the cheapies and the designers and the niche. Why not? I'm excited to see what other elixirs are released in the near future. And if you are too, let me know down in the comments what you think about some of these. Have you got your nose on Boss Bottled Elixir? Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Until the next one, peace.